You're listening to the Suave Lover podcast with your hosts, Benjamin Ritter and James Amaro. SuaveLover.com, advising gentlemen on the art of romance. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy today's episode.
Okay, so the scratches on my arm and on my hand and the bruise on my fist and the cuts on my other hand are from a door.
Who's a door? Is she a nice girl that you've met recently?
She broke up with me. No. She wouldn't lock. Doors.
Not your friend this week.
Door 0. Ben 1.
Oh, I thought you're going with 0 dark door. So.
And that was, I got kind of angry the other day. Did something I don't normally do. And that was paid for dinner. No, it was get extremely angry and punched through a door.
Wow.
And I basically that's probably a pretty asshole thing to do, wouldn't you say, James?
I would say, in keeping in character with your asshole qualities that are so prevalent now, it is not. I don't know if it's an asshole thing to do, but that is a good point because the topic today is being an asshole.
Guys, the number one way to not be an asshole.
Get a cat.
Get a cat.
God, it just throws them off the trail. It's such a red.
They get so confused.
Oh my God, you have a cat? You must be nice.
Or always have a puppy. If the puppy gets old, throw that shit away.
No shit.
Get a new puppy.
Dogs can hunt for themselves. Let it loose in the alley. So an asshole. By the way, I have a sort of like a template for what it means to be an asshole. And I don't know that I know asshole from douchebag, from chotch, from whatever, right? My template for an asshole is a guy who is fucking low self-control, really fucking angry all the time, meanness, hostile to the world.
Selfish.
Real entitled.
Comes without waiting for the girl to come, right?
I thought that was just called being male.
Oh, man.
So an asshole. I got like this mental picture of what it means to be an asshole. What do you think it means?
Well, what's the opposite of an asshole? And what, if you're trying to figure out what an asshole is. I
don't know, chump, wimp.
Yeah, but honestly,
Sissy.
So what is the definition of an opposite?
As opposed to an oppostand?
Yeah. Okay. Enunciation. What is an opposite? An opposite is something completely different. Not different. Completely. What is the definition of opposite?
I know, polar somehow. And there's this notion that if you're not an asshole, you must be something even worse. Because asshole isn't a good thing, but somehow being a pussy or a sissy, which seems to be the opposite of an asshole.
But a pussy and sissy is still a negative, and an asshole is a negative.
Isn't it fucked up?
So to have an actual opposite would have to be a positive. So a negative and positive. So an opposite of asshole would have to be
a nice guy. Friendly, harmless. That'd be a big
harmless,
part of it. Yeah. Your brother. The nice little brother that you're not afraid of.
With the Power Ranger t-shirt and the Barbie.
The one with the Power Ranger t-shirt who doesn't say rude things to his teacher or make sexual comments to your girlfriends. That guy.
Okay, so an asshole then would be completely negative, rude, angry,
as opposed to what the
sexual
nice guy. Yeah, rude, angry, and sex. Here's the thing.
That sounds kind of good, actually. Can I be an asshole? I bet a lot of guys get laid more by being rude, angry, and sexual than being a nice guy, asexual wimp. That's why nice guys finish last, right?
What's attractive about an asshole? There's something. Come on. We know that the bad boy, the outsider, the whatever. What's attractive about an asshole? Because there is.
Women like bad guys. Women like assholes.
Yeah.
Right. And the nice guys finish last.
And should we be clear? This isn't made up bullshit. This is true. This is empirical.
Yeah, I used to be a nice guy. I don't get laid very often. Became an asshole, and I have to say...
He's not concerned with how other people perceive him, good, bad, or otherwise. He just does his own fucking thing. And he's enjoying himself. Sometimes it's at other people's expense, sometimes it's at his own expense, but he goes out and he kind of just enjoys himself. He's not worried about what other people think. He understands that. He's not fucking retarded, but he understands that, hey, you know, you can have a negative opinion of me. I don't care. You can have a positive opinion of me. That doesn't really affect me either way. I am interested in sex. I like my sex, whatever. Is that pretty close to an asshole? Sounds pretty fucking close to me.
I was actually being kind of an asshole and not paying any fucking attention to your ass.
How's that going for you?
Really bad, because now I feel like a fucking asshole.
Well, there are qualities that people, dudes, women, everybody, people tend to find more attractive about other people. Here's what's creepy. I really need your validation. I really need you to like me. I hope that you will be my friend. That's creepy. When you say, hey, look, I got my own thing going on, no harm or foul. I'm going to live my life. I hope that you live yours to the fullest, or that you get hit by the next available bus if you're kind of a fuck.
No, but I totally see where you're going, and I actually do want to go that way. When people meet someone that has their own life and they're independent, and they display, I believe, those types of attractive qualities, the person on the other end of the stick is not getting the type of validation that they want at that point in time. And what's attractive about that is that they're not getting the validation that they want, and so they have to work for it, and that's actually really attractive to them. But at that point in time, they're actually really pissed off.
Yeah.
And if they're any way insecure, they're gonna call you an asshole.
Yeah.
But in essence, that's attractive. It almost doesn't really matter one of the attractive qualities of being an asshole, quote unquote, is that you don't give a shit what the people think of you. And there are attractive qualities that involve being independent that will make other people feel insecure. And you have to be okay with that.
Threatened and angry at, exactly right. I mean, think about it like this. If you're doing anything interesting, like you're an artist, you're going to have your share of critics. And I think the assholes are the people who are like, hey, you know what? I'll take the criticism. I'm okay with it. I'm going to act in a way in the world that's going to get people to fucking notice me. I'm not afraid of getting attention anyway. Because the nice guy's like, oh, don't want to stir the pot. Don't want to make waves.
They're supplicating.
And that's boring. And this is really interesting. This is really important, because if you don't create a certain sense of drama,
emotional peaks,
emotional spikes, highs, and importantly, the fucking lows.
Yeah.
Because we're so afraid of like making people feel bad about it. So, hey, you know, honey, I don't want you to ever feel bad. Well, you know what happens if you don't let a girl feel bad because of you? She'll feel bad because of something else. She'll go to see a fucking sad movie, and her emotional stimulation will come from Grey's Anatomy or whatever the fuck flavor of the month, drama there is. She needs drama. You need, to some degree. I mean, maybe
turn on a reality TV show for 2 minutes.
Holy shit.
The whole thing is peak after peak after peak. Drama, love, anger. This is what interactions are. You're not in a work situation where you're talking about, data points.
It's not logical.
Interactions and attraction is not logical. You build it off of momentum. And up or down. If you're consistent and constant, then you're gonna bore the shit out of somebody, and you're not going to be attractive to them anymore, which is eventually what happens to a lot of relationships and a lot of interactions, is that people try to be the nice guy, they try to find similarities, they try to be flexible with their time, and, oh, you can't make Tuesday, well, how about Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I have nothing else going on. Oh, I got it, I'll pay for everything. Oh, you live 4 hours away from me, I'll drive at 10 o'clock at night and see you for 5 minutes because you're really busy.
Let me elevate that point, because that's like not knowing how to get yourself out of situations because you feel like, well, it's the nice thing to do. It's like, I was working with a client, this was probably a couple of weeks ago, and he goes, hey, I find that these girls that I'm talking to are so boring. I'm like, whoa, let's stop with the reframe of this, kind of what's going on. So they say, okay, so what happens that you think the girl is boring? Well, we talk about these stupid things. I say, okay, well, hang on. Are you leading the conversation? Are you taking it in a place that you want to be? Or are you just sitting there kind of passing your time making small talk? He goes, well, I mean, I make small talk because, that's what people do is to make small. I'm like, stop, dude. If you ever find yourself in a conversation where you're bored, that sucks. But if you find yourself in a conversation where you're boring, that's on you. And here's my advice. Say right now, right there, it's like, oh shit, excuse me. My bad. I brought us into a boring fucking conversation. I'm going to stop it right now. When's the last time you had sex, lady? I mean, make it about something you give a shit about. Now, I like talking about sex and crazy dirty. I like politics and religion.
Well, that's the thing about conversation. And then I was telling someone actually today about it. You can have interesting conversations, and I totally agree with that. You should have interesting. You should bring up topics like that, and those are fun. You know, when was the last time you masturbated? If you could only,
what time is it? 7. Yeah.
Just anything along those lines. And if you want more conversational topic pointers, you can call us on our hotline, 1-800 off. No, really, we do have a website. Check it out, and a lovely phone number that you can call. It's very easy to have interesting conversations, and you go into interactions with these questions already set up. You go in with 3 fun questions to ask. Those 3 fun questions, if you're actually listening to whatever the person responds with, you will have more material to go off of. It's a lot easier to make every conversation interesting. And you do that by not giving too much information, by not being too detailed, by being fun, by giving really witty, non-really responsive answers, where if someone asks you what you do, you don't fucking say that you're a doctor, okay? You come up with something else. You say that
more interesting.
You're a necromancer.
Because that's...
Okay, you bring people back to fucking life. You know, there's tons of different ways to make everything that you're saying interesting that we just fucking don't do. Because we take the easy way out, and we don't also understand that that's an option.
So it's going to be real easy to interpret what you said about having 3 things as material. And you're not an advocate of lines.
No, I'm not talking about lines.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about going a little bit introspective on yourself and looking at your life and coming up with 3 awesome stories, or maybe even articles that you looked up about sex, or things that you read in Men's Health that are new news studies that most likely nobody knows, that you can bring up in conversation to really stimulate the environment, the interaction.
And maybe sometimes you do pull out a line, big deal, because mostly you're not worried about delivering a spat of lines. Like when I go out, I do have off the top of my head, I try to think of some things that I would like to, smart-assy shit that I'd like to say, so I seem like an asshole. I say stuff like, I bet you don't even know what color underwear you're wearing. Of course, yes, no, it doesn't matter. So that I will use as sort of like material. But just to be clear, you have no idea.
I'm wearing orange.
You had to look.
No, I knew.
You had to look.
I know these things.
It was weird. You turned around. I was like, what are you doing back there? If I use that kind of stuff, though, just to be clear, I'm not doing lines. I'm not doing a bunch of stack of material. But I got something off the top of my head because maybe I'm not feeling conversational. So I have no problem, and I'm going to say it, you probably feel the same way, that you don't have no problem priming with something that you might have said a couple of 10 times.
Priming is great. Yeah. I love priming.
But you are not going to deliver a stack of fucking candy.
I'm not going to do a routine about my 3-year-old niece in Asia that had a nickname Pony. My lines are basically openers that, take 1 second to say that lead me into a conversation. Yeah. This is really funny this happened today. The Mr. Barber Man is reading, what was the book I told you about?
The Essentials by Ben Ritter.
He will be, but that's a great book. I totally recommend looking it up on Amazon.
For $279.95 a copy. It's a great book. It's a total deal. It's a steal.
Really, guys, it's less than your last hooker. So this guy was reading this book by Robert Greene. James. I think James needs a cold shower. Do you want to go?
48 Laws of Power.
Yeah. And he also wrote another one after that. There's another guy who wrote like the 5 Languages of Love that he knows that comes in and gets his haircut there as well. And
The Art of Seduction. This guy wrote.
Yeah, he wrote. Yeah, the same thing. Art of Seduction. He's very well known. Yeah. So he was. I see these books and I'm like, I got to talk to this guy. And then we started talking about what's going on, and of course the conversation leads to his current situation, which basically was, he fell in love with this girl.
Wait. A barber? A male barber? Likes a girl? Wait, what now? Wait, what kind of stylist are you seeing?
He's a nice guy. He's a nice, I don't know. Do I have to get racial on your ass?
Sounds like he's not an asshole, and it sounds like he might be even straight.
Well, okay, he's straight. He's black.
Whoa.
He's like 6 foot something. Really cool guy. Like, obviously, like well read, and he knows his shit. He's successful. He like has a house. So this guy has his shit together. He's, fucking lots of women. I hear about it all the time. But what happened to him? He fell in love. What happens when you fall in love? you change your ways. You stop being an asshole. Why? Because you're so attracted to someone, you're so much in love with this person that you will do anything for them. If they don't want to be, you don't feel being sexual is the right thing to do. You be flexible in your schedule. You become emotional with them. You stop seeing other people. You know what else? So you do all these. You change your ways, the ways that were helping you basically meet more women and have successful relationships. What ended up happening with this guy is that basically he got too emotionally attached. He told her he loved her, and she said he met her at church, so he didn't want to be sexual with her. And there was a few other things. This isn't a client, by the way. This is a buddy, so it's a situation that I can talk about. He basically gave me like the signs, like, oh, she said that she wasn't as into me. Okay, that's a pretty big warning flag, right? You're gonna change your ways? No. She stopped writing me letters that she used to write and signing them, I love you. Okay, that's another sign. She stopped getting gifts. Okay, she stopped talking to me on the phone. Okay, how are there even more signs? This is you know what I mean? So I just hear in my head that he just keeps acting unattractively towards her more and more as she pulls back her attention. And it was basically what happened. And then what happened with the holidays? Oh, guess what he did? Got her a gift.
Of course he did.
Of course, a big gift. Told her he got her a gift. Did she care? His comment, usually she's really, what do girls do when they know they get a gift? They run after it. They want to pick it up. She didn't care. I had to remind her twice about it. Not getting the hint.
No, it's bad.
Not getting the hint. So basically he's like, so now I'm in this situation. He's like, what do I do? Yeah. And he told me this story in that book by Robert Greene about basically hiding your intentions and stories that represent that action. He stopped being an asshole. He started displaying traits of a wuss and a wimp. And what is he doing now? He's still chasing after she gives him the signs that that he's not being attractive, that she's not attractive to him anymore. And you hear this situation all the time. Yeah. How to get back an ex. It's the same exact thing. And she gave him hints. There were so many hints along the way.
Well, what's frustrating is because I've been there. I mean, as you're talking about this guy, I'm thinking about 2 or 3 salient examples of really, really lousy decisions I made where I fell hard for a girl and did some really foolish.
You made her stop missing you.
But you know what I really did that I think made this fail is I became self-sacrificing. Somehow I thought I'd be selfless. Somehow my concerns were, and it's the classic supplication, it's the classic status thing, it's whatever else, but I'd be like, it's more about us. It's more about, and don't take this the wrong way, I'm very big on all of us being in this thing together, but I never lose sight of the making sure number one is taken care of. It's my job. You've got to make sure you've got your shit handled. Yeah. And here's what I think happens. I'm listening to what you're saying and I'm projecting, so I'm trying not to advise without. But you start looking for someone who gives a shit about you and cares for you, and suddenly you become important to them, and they're feeling that they can control your emotional well-being because you've granted them this stupid-ass power. And when I say that, you didn't do it on purpose. You just noticed, holy shit, I really care about this person. But now you give them all this fucking power to make your internal world good or bad. Mm-hmm. That was stupid. Say, look, I'm really falling for this person. I really like this person. You know what I got to do is make sure I regroup, make sure I got my shit together, and then I got to kind of feel it out along the way to make sure that we're on the same page. Because as much as you might think it feels really fucking nice to have someone who's there for you, almost bothering you with the text and shit, you know what really sucks is when it goes away. Yeah. That really does suck. Mm-hmm. And it's when you needed it. It's when you got to the point where you started becoming dependent. Instead of enjoing it and savoring it for what it was, you got like, holy, but the...
It's been 5 minutes.
God damn.
It's been 5 minutes. She texted me back. What is she doing? She must be cheating on me.
And I don't know this guy. Yeah. I mean, he's your buddy.
But you could tell. You could tell exactly that's what happened. Relationships are a power struggle.
Unfortunately, and without exception.
You always want to have more power. The moment you give more power to someone and change the thing, you become supplicative, you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do, saying things, you start acting kind of wimpy, I guess. You being a pushover. The other person, if they have any doubt in their mind about you, will see that as unattractive, and they'll gain power in the relationship, and they'll withdraw. And you, because you want that attention, will push harder and harder. And that is just that's how you lose somebody. Oh, so I gave, this is the advice I gave, basically. There's 3 main things that I found to win somebody back or to stay attractive. Mm. The first one is...
Never have sex with them. Make them miss you. Wait.
Yeah, never have sex with them. This is what I'm trying to re-answer. I'm trying to group up.
Yeah.
And have a sip of Captain Morgan, sponsor of our podcast.
Yes, I wish. That would be a Diageo brand that I have no affiliation with. But please, anyone listening, including the Diageo reps.
Stay attractive.
Yeah.
Stay attractive. How you were attractive in the beginning of the relationship, independent.
Okay.
Right? So you're staying attractive. And you're doing that by your conversations. Stop fucking texting about your life. Stop texting every little thing that fucking happens to you. Stop saying it all the fucking time. You don't need to constantly give the person updates. Be fun, be flirtatious, keep things interesting, okay, and sexual, and not just bland and boring. So you're staying attractive, the same traits that you had in the beginning of a relationship. Before you felt that they were your fucking mom or your best friend.
Oh, okay. Right. There you got it.
You got it?
Okay.
They're not your fucking best friend or your mom.
I'm going to pick up on that point in a minute.
Okay, the second thing is withdraw. Be around less. Have them wonder more about you. What are you doing? You're not always available. So you're responding less to text messages. You're not calling all the time. You're just not around. You have your own life. And the third is to make them fucking jealous. Okay, make them know that you have options. Any way, shape, or form. Social media is the easiest way to do it nowadays.
Yeah, and that does work.
Yeah, it works fucking well. Because I haven't heard from him in a while. I wonder what he's doing. Creeps on your page. It's totally true.
So true.
It's so true.
Okay, so what you said about the first thing.
Mom, best friend.
The worst relationship is the brother-sister, is the mother-child, is familial. And they're bad for a number of reasons, but not the least of which, the incest taboo makes it all really fucking weird. One of my best exes, my old roommate, and I were like brother and sister. Not while we were seeing each other.
I was kind of worried.
I've told probably every girl that I've been with in the last 7 years, because it got weird. I'm not your fucking girlfriend. You can confide in me, we can talk a lot about a lot of fucking things, but I am not your fucking girlfriend. Okay? I am not the one who you're gonna go to with the bullshit and the petty and the what. Get a fucking girlfriend. If you don't have girlfriends, find girlfriends. I'm not your girlfriend, your lover. And that's a really, really difficult frame to maintain, because as you find yourself feeling close to someone, you feel, well, everything. We can talk about everything. We talk about the fact that I have hemorrhoids. No. You fucking edit. And that's a really important part about preserving a certain amount of, feminine mystique, especially. I mean, a girl who's all out there, very unattractive. Because at some point it's like, whoa, all the mystery is gone. Same for a guy. Guys don't get it. They're like, hey, no, I would never. Girl could come over and she could rub her ass on my head and I'd like it. And guess what? You're not gonna. You're gonna find that shit really kind of crass. You're gonna lose interest. You preserve that distance. You don't become a buddy. You don't become a girlfriend or a fucking emotional tampon. You maintain that sexual distance that is necessary if you're going to be loved. Now, you can get incredibly close with that, but you're like that with your family.
So specify what things are private, because people may be confused by this.
Keep the bathroom door closed. You know what? When I'm showering, you don't get to come in there and do your fucking hair. It's that simple. It's privacy. There's a fucking limit. There's a certain...
Unless you're coming in and giving me a blowjob while I'm in the shower.
Which is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
All right. So it doesn't become functional. It doesn't become business, housework, none of that kind of stuff. All right. You want to talk about your day? Great. 10 minutes. You want to get it off your chest? I'm here to take the emotional whatever. 10 fucking minutes. I'm not going to be your career counselor. I'm not going to be the one you want to sit around in your PJs? Do that once a week. Once a fucking week. We can hang out in PJs, sit on the internet, watch, okay? Otherwise, there's a certain amount of distance, a certain amount of sexuality. If you lose that sexual tension, remember, you're the fucking pace car, you're the dude. If you lose that sexual tension, if you fail to maintain that kind of sexual tension, you get what you deserve. You get a girl who's like, wow, this was so hot when we started, but then it isn't hot anymore. It's predictable. It's boring. Nobody wants that, and yet, everybody will try to get it because we miswant. While we don't want it, we think we want it because we think it'll make us secure. Planned spontaneity is actually really hard because, it's one thing to get into your sweats and then suddenly find yourself someplace that's a little bit, oh, hey, you know what? I'm glad that we went someplace more fun than I was expecting because I was expecting to be casual. On the other hand, if you do need to be like a night at Underground, is going to require
it is difficult to date the quality of women that I date and be spontaneous when they're in sweatpants. They're very self-conscious and they're very... you know how it is. You know how it is.
I've had the problem.
Yeah. And it's like, Where are we going? So to be an asshole is not actually being a fucking, like, you can be an asshole and you can be a dick and you can hurt people and be selfish and be rude. And you can still be attractive. But the point of all this is to be attractive with the traits of what makes up an asshole. What are the attractive qualities of being an asshole, and to incorporate them with just being a nice person with morals.
In my case, I'm going to own this. I am the kind of person who doesn't want to go out and, kick canes out from underneath old ladies. I don't want to push baby carts in front of cars. I'm not malicious. And yet, much of what I am is very much asshole-like. So take that for what it's worth. Own your intentionality. And if you're the kind of person who holds a door for another person, male or female, if you're the kind of person who's ladies first, I'm from Minnesota. I'm raised to be a certain amount of polite. But that politeness will not undermine the fact that I am interested in what I'm interested in, that I am interested in sexuality, that I am going to take the lead on a lot of this stuff.
If you're confident and masculine, it's very broad terms, you can do those types of things.
If you're a competent masturbator, what now?
Yeah. Actually, you can do a lot of things. I think you can get in the Guinness Book of World Records. But really, though, if you are confident and masculine, you can do good, nice guy or wimpy type of actions and have them not seem wimpy.
You can be nice to other people.
So I can hold open the door for a girl, and I won't be supplicating.
Right. That's
right.
That's right.
I don't even have to say anything. If I wanted to, I could say, "Walk faster, hon." You can just fucking do it. And I'm so confident. I don't see it as something. I'm not doing it for her. I'm doing it for me. Okay. Now, signing off. Have a wonderful, 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 wonderful day.
You have been listening to the Suave Lover podcast. Visit suavelover.com to become the kind of man that women crave.